Jungle.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum friends, welcome back to Football Gupshup, and this time we have a special episode for you. You've seen the thumbnail. It has to do with the World Cup. World Cup is just 20 days away, and I'm sure that you've seen the thumbnail. We're going to be doing a very special selection in this episode. It has to do with England national team, and we'll be choosing the 26-man squad. So that is what we have. So I'm sure that you guys are pretty much excited. So before we begin this episode, please do subscribe to Football Gupshup. Press the like button as well, and if you have any friends who are into football, please let them know about this channel. So let's begin today's episode. So let's start. And we do know that it's Group B, where England are going to be playing in. They will have Iran, they will have United States and Wales. So these are the opponents that they're going to face in the group, and then later they will progress into last 16, quarter-final, semi-final and final, of course. So these three teams will be facing off England. So that is Group B for England right over there. And there are many other groups as well, which we have already seen. So now this is what it is. And now let's head towards our main agenda, which is selecting those 26-man squad. And I'm sure that you guys are very much rubbing your hands to see who it's going to be. And there it is. So let's start over here. I'm going to start with below. So for me, I've already selected this. It's already done because it would have taken a lot of time, and I did that before. It took me half an hour. So anyway, I've done this. So these are the players we're going to start with. No chance. We're going to go towards the contenders who are very good in terms of in contention for the future tournament, which is Euro 2024. And then we have some players in standby, and then we have the squad players, and then the first 11. That's how we're going to go. So let's start with no chance. We got the likes of Harry Maguire. I think, guys, for me, Harry Maguire, he hasn't been playing for Manchester United. He hasn't been that good. And I think Gareth Southgate should really kind of think that now he should be giving a chance to the players who are for the future. And Harry Maguire has been a very good servant for England, but I don't think so he should be going to the World Cup. I think he has done his part, and I think this should be, if he really performs good for Manchester United, for any of the club, maybe for Euro 2024. But I think that it's basically he's not even playing regularly, so I think he shouldn't be selected for this tournament. So he is the one who, for me, who gets no chance. Then we got Ings, not for me. Barkley, of course. Oxlade-Chamberlain, no. Cresswell, no. Lamptey has opted to play for Ghana, so no. Bamford, no. Johnston, no. Jamie Vardy, I think he has done, his international days are over. Dele Alli, big no. Then you got Loftus-Cheek, no. Then you got Winks, no. And then we have got Lascelles as well as a player from Crystal Palace. I'm sorry if I don't know the name. And then we got James Milner. Then I think his time is up as well. Lingard, I'm sorry, he isn't playing good for Nottingham Forest. Ollie Watkins, no, big no. Then we got Hudson-Odoi, and for some reason I think Hudson-Odoi has been put in here twice. He has opted to play for Ghana as well, I think. Now coming back to Foster, I think his time is up. He has done what he could do for England. Kyle Walker, another one like Harry Maguire. I think his time is done. He often tends to get injured, and I think his days with England are almost over. There are so many players who could play in that right back position, in that centre back position. So I think he shouldn't be taking him. I think Gareth Southgate should really give this call. I think Kyle Walker and Harry Maguire, they won't make it to the squad. So right now we're going to go for the players who I think are in good contention for the Euro 2024. Looking at them, and we got apparently Eze over here. Then we got Livramento, Anthony Gordon. You got, I think, Tanganga as well. And then I think he plays for Tottenham. Can't remember his name. Might come back to me later. But we got Sessegnon, Dean Henderson, Reece James. If he would have been fit, then he would have been definitely as the first 11 right back. Going forward, we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, maybe for 2024 if he goes to another team. And then we got McAllister. Then we got, I think this is Nelson as well as Walker Peters. No. Chaloba. Sancho once again not playing good for United. So for me, Euro 2024, Kilman, and then play from Bayern Munich as well as Newcastle. So these guys are all for Euro 2024, and we're going to go up towards the players who are in for standby. Now we got Dyer. I think he is one of those players which has been called upon regularly by Gareth Southgate, but I think this time around he should be in standby position. So is Joe Gomez, so is John Stones, as well as Guehi. Then you got Phillips, you got Mason Mount. Mason Mount doesn't make it, not in good form for Chelsea. Rashford as well, not in good form, although he could have been one of those who could play as a winger and a striker, but not for me. I think he doesn't get selected. Calvert-Lewin, no, he has been injured. Gerard Bowen, out of form, sorry, but on standby he could be there. Then we got Godfrey. Godfrey could be one of those who could be on standby if any of the players which I've selected, if they do get injured, then Godfrey will come in. Then we got another player, and it is Jones, who I think is playing for Liverpool, and I'm going to come back to him. He might be one of those who might slip in. We're going to come back to him. James Ward-Prowse on standby, doesn't make it for me. If he does make it, then there's another player who will have to come out of that squad, and I'm going to tell which player is that, who I think is much better than James Ward-Prowse. Then you got Justin, who plays for Leicester City, could play as a left back, could play as a right back. He makes it for me. Then you got Tammy Abraham as well as Wilson, but these players are on standby, so that's what the case is. Now we're going to come to the squad, and we're going to see who have we got. Nick Pope and Ramsdale are going to be the two goalkeepers in deputization to Pickford, who's in first 11. Then we have got the likes of Alexander-Arnold, who I am putting as a kind of a replacement or as a substitute for Trippier. Trippier for me starts over there. So Alexander-Arnold, Tarkowski, Konsa, these two make it to the squad. They have been playing quite good. Konsa, of course, you could argue that not him, maybe somebody else. We could come back to him, but for me, Konsa is a very good defender, and I think he should go to the World Cup as a backup to the other players who are ahead of him. So that is what I think. Maybe you guys would agree or you wouldn't agree. If you do not agree, then leave me a comment in the comment section below. Now going forward, we got Chilwell, we got Henderson, and now Henderson, it was for me, it was between Henderson and James Ward-Prowse. So I went for Henderson because he's got the experience and he's far much better player than Ward-Prowse. So for me, I went for Henderson. Sorry, Southampton fans, but I've opted for Henderson. Now going forward, I've got Maddison, very good form for Leicester City. Gallagher. Now Gallagher for me was one of the players which I was thinking if it's Gallagher or if it's someone else. Now I'm going to come back to Gallagher in a bit, but before we do that, we're going to go forward. We got Grealish, of course, we got Tony as well as Sterling. Now Sterling doesn't make it into first 11, somebody else does. So that is what we have in the squad. Nick Pope as usual with Ramsdale. Then we got Ben White, who can play as a right back and as a centre back. We got Ramsey. Ramsey is a very good player, so we've opted for him. And Barnes. So that is something. I haven't gone for Wilson. I have got Barnes over here in the squad. The reason why, I will come back to that a little bit later after the discussion of the first 11. Now coming to first 11, we got Pickford in goal, Trippier as a right back, Tomori as well as Cody as the two centre backs. We got Luke Shaw as the left back. We got Declan Rice as the defensive midfielder, Jude Bellingham and Harvey Elliott playing as two central midfielders, supporting the likes of Phil Foden on the left flank, as well as Harry Kane, who will be playing up front, and Saka, who will be playing on the right wing position. Now this is the England that I think Gareth Southgate should be going for. This is the lineup that he should opt for, because this lineup could give him what no other team has given, and it's basically attacking team which could play progressive game, which could be an attacking mindset kind of a game. And I think Gareth Southgate has so far deployed tactics which have been quite you could say redundant. They do not give you in terms of output, they don't give you goals, they don't give you the options where you have plenty of chances, plenty of attempts. And with these right personnel in his system, I think they can really click together and they can play that fluid football, free attacking football, and they can stick to their roles. And I'm sure that you guys would agree with this looking at this first 11. If you do agree with me, then please leave me the comments in the comment section below and let me know what you think of this first 11. And we can have many discussion about this, but I think that these players are the perfect 11 for Gareth Southgate in this World Cup. And I think if you come up against the likes of Brazil, Spain, France, Argentina, these players are not going to have any fear. They will have a go at them without holding any kind of fear or any kind of thought that, you know what, we can take on them, we can basically have a go at them. And who knows, they might be able to score more goals than usually they are doing right now. And I think having the likes of Phil Foden, Saka and Elliott and Bellingham right behind them, it gives more depth to England in terms of performing on the pitch, in terms of attacking more, in terms of being on the front foot. You could argue now that maybe the players which we have selected could get tired, but then looking at the bench, you got the likes of Maddison, you got Grealish, you got Sterling, you got Tony. So I think that having those players in support is going to help your case a lot, and that is the reason why I've gone with this first 11. And I'm sure that you guys would agree with me based on the form in the Premier League currently right now. These are the perfect 11 players that should be playing for England, rather than the players such as Walker or Harry Maguire or Dyer or John Stones. I think their time it's done. I think it's over, and now England should be looking over the horizon and looking for these kind of players. Godi is playing superbly for Everton. Tomori has been playing superb for AC Milan. Now you could argue with one or two names such as Konsa and Tarkowski, and you could say that maybe some other player could come in their place. But I think Konsa is a perfect player. Tarkowski, based on his partnership with Cody, would be perfect cover for Tomori. And I think Ben White would really supplement that right back and centre back argument. Now, speaking about who do we think should go and in terms of attacking, because there was an argument that should Tammy Abraham, who's playing superbly for Roma, or Wilson for Newcastle United, or Marcus Rashford. And the option which I went for Barnes, because I think that the threat nowadays in modern football comes from wing, and I think that Barnes is a very special player that England could use and utilize. Him and Gerard Bowen are the really X-factor kind of players who have got pace and ferocity in them, who can beat at least 2-3 defenders with their skill and have a very good shot on their in their arsenal. And I think that Barnes and Bowen should be going, but Bowen, because he's not in good form, that is the reason why I went for Barnes. And I think Barnes is that X-factor kind of player who should be on that plane going to Qatar World Cup. And remember, even if he doesn't get selected that much, because he's got Sterling in front of him, Jack Grealish in front of him, but in 2024, I don't think so Sterling would be selected. And I think that maybe Barnes would be the perfect player who would be selected in those names with Grealish, with Saka and Phil Foden. So that's what I think, and that is the reason why I have gone for Barnes. And maybe, who knows, in 2024, Gerard Bowen has got a good form and he might get selected as well, and that would be very good. Now, argument about who should I take in between Gallagher and Curtis Jones. Now, this was a big debacle for me. I was thinking, who should I go for? And I do know that Gallagher has played good for Crystal Palace, although he has been coming good for Chelsea recently. Don't know what is the reason. So it was between him and Curtis Jones, and I was still wasn't making up my mind, but I did give it a thought, and I think that it would be better that if Jones would go instead of Gallagher, and Gallagher should miss out, and maybe in 2024 when he's playing regularly, and who knows, maybe Graham Potter starts to use him regularly and he's a first 11 player for Chelsea and he gets selected for maybe in 2024. That's what I think, because I think Curtis Jones and Ramsey are going to be the future midfield of England, alongside Bellingham, alongside Harvey Elliott, and that's what I think. So that is the reason that I've gone with these players. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these names in the section below where you can have a look. I'm going to write their names in the list, and I'm going to ask you guys what you guys think of this list. So if you have any changes that you think that we should be making to the squad, please do let me know. So once again, guys, I would like to thank and appreciate that you guys have been watching this, and I would also like to thank Tier Maker for this tier list, who have been giving this graphics, and we were able to do this. So once again, guys, I would like to thank each and every one of you who have been tuning in, who have been subscribing, who have been liking, as well as who have been tuning in with those watch alongs. So once again, guys, I would like to thank and appreciate for tuning in with Football Gupshup. I hope that you have loved today's episode. So once again, guys, I would be asking if you can please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be very thankful. So I'll be seeing you with some other episodes regarding World Cup, and maybe we'll do the knockout thing, and I'll see if I can get that one as well, and we'll see which team will progress and win the final. So once again, guys, I'll be thanking you. Maybe I'll do squad selection for the other nations as well, maybe Brazil, maybe Argentina, maybe Portugal. We'll find about that a little bit later if I'll see if I can get the graphics as well. So once again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a nice one. Take care, and please do subscribe. Thank you very much for watching Football Gupshup. Have a nice one. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Jungle.